Factors, how to find them. What are they? The first definition is with division, whole numbers that divide into other whole numbers without a remainder. The second definition is with multiplication, whole numbers we can multiply together to get another whole number. Why? Can help make problems easier, like multiplying fractions. Interesting fact, the emperor penguin is the tallest of all penguin species, reaching as tall as 120 centimeters or 47 inches in height. Now let's take a look at this example. On the one on the left, we have division. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 and 4 are factors of 12, since there is not a remainder. Now let's take a look at the right. We have 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. So therefore 3 and 4 are factors of 12, since they multiply to 12. Now let's take a look at 12 and continue in it. So let's take a look at the first part, which is step 1. We're going to divide the number in half, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. And those are the numbers we need to check to find the factors. Okay, and step 2 is draw arcs to represent your factor pairs. So now we're going to go ahead and add 12 into the numbers to check because we're dealing with pairs, so we need 2 numbers. And the first number is always going to be 1 and the number itself. So in this case, it's 1 and 12. Now, how do we know 1 and 12 are factors? Well, 12 divided by 1 is 12, so there's no remainder. We're good on that front. And 1 times 12 is 12, so we need to multiply the factor pairs. And if it gets you the original number, you are good to go. Now let's take a look at the next number, which is 2, and that corresponds with 6, so that's my factor pair. Now, how do we know? Well, let's take a look at the left side. 12 divided by 2 is 6, no remainder. And then we have 2 times 6, which is, so we're multiplying the factor pairs, and that gives us 12. And now we are move on to the next number, which is 3. And we do 3 and 4. Let's see if that's correct. So we have 12 divided by 3, which is 4, no remainder, so we're good. And now we need to multiply the factor pair. Does that give us the original number? 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, now what do we have to do with that 5? Well, we've already reached halfway of 6. So half of 6 is 3. So once you reach halfway, you don't need to check the other numbers. Whatever is there is there. Okay, but to show you that it doesn't work, 12 divided by 5 is 2 remainder 2. So since it has a remainder, it doesn't work. So these are your factors of 12. Now let's take a look at example 2. We have 16. So we're going to divide that number in half. We get 8. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add 16 so that we can then draw our factor pair. So we know that 1 and 16 are our factor pair. So let's go ahead and verify with division. 16 divided by 1 is 16 with no remainder, so we're good. And now we multiply the factor pair. We get 1 times 16, which is 16, so we're good. Next number we need to move up is 2. Okay, so it's 2 and 8 is my factor pair. So if we divide 16 divided by 2, which is 8, no remainder, we are good. Now if we multiply the two numbers to get, and let's see the result. 2 times 8 is 16, so we are good on that front. And now we're checking 3, which is the next number. 16 divided by 3, which is 5 remainder 1. So we can eliminate 3 and eliminate 5 because the inverse is also true. So let's go ahead and move on to the next number, which is 4. And as you can see, I've only written it once because you're multiplying it by itself. So when you have a number that's being multiplied by itself to get the number, you only write the number by itself. So let's see if that's true. 16 divided by 4 is 4, no remainder, and we multiply the 4 by itself, and you get 16. Now once again, the halfway between 8 is 4. Okay, so we don't need to check any numbers. We are done with this. We're done finding the factors of 16. Now to verify, let's take a look. 16 divided by 6 is 2 remainder 4, and 16 divided by 7 is 2 remainder 2. Okay, so therefore, since they both have remainders, those are not factors of 16, and there is your final answer. The 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16 are factors of 16. Let's take a look at this last example. So we're going to divide the number in half. So we get, and we're going to just, since half of 25 is 12.5. We're going to go ahead and lower it to 12. And then now we're going to add the 25 so we can write down the factor pair of 1, so which is 1 and 25. Now let's verify. 25 divided by 1 is 25 with no remainder. So we're good on that one. So let's take a look. Let's multiply the factor pair, or the two numbers. 1 times 25 is 25. Now if we take a look at 2, we have 25 divided by 2, which is 12 remainder 1. We have a remainder, so it's not a factor. So there's also the inverse of that is true. So 25 divided by 12 is going to give you a remainder as well. So we can eliminate 2 and 24. The next number is 3. So we can do 25 divided by 3, which is 8 remainder 1. And then the inverse of that is true. So if we divide by 8, you're still going to get a remainder. Now let's take a look at the 4, which is the next number. 25 divided by 4 gives you a remainder, and so the inverse is also true. So when you divide it by 6, you get a remainder, so we can eliminate those two numbers. And the next number is 5, and that is a factor. Why? Let's go ahead and check with division. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 5 times 5 is 25. So since the number is being multiplied by itself, we only write it once. And now let's check the other numbers. But before we do that, half of 12 is 6. So we can go ahead and stop here, and these are your factors of 25. But let's go ahead and show you why. So 16 divided by 7 gives you a remainder of 2. 16 divided by 9 gives you a remainder of 7. 16 divided by 10 gives you a remainder of 6. 16 divided by 11 gives you a remainder of 5. So the numbers that were left over have a remainder, so they're not factors. So the factors of 25 are 1, 5, and 25. Okay, so now it is your turn. So go ahead and pause the video so you can find the factors of these two numbers, and I will show you the answers in 3, 2, and 1. Here are the answers. If you got them correct, well done. If you didn't, there is always tomorrow.